Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Yeah, you right. Let's do this thing, New Orleans. Corey Johnson back at you on a wide open Wednesday. Thanks so much for finding us on the radio, on television, on YouTube. The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on YouTube. Check us out on Twitter at Corey Johnson. Lots of ways to check out the program. It is New Orleans. Drew Brees is right. Yeah, we're on Twitter finally, live at Corey Johnson on Twitter. Got a good one coming up in 15 minutes. Less than that, about 13 minutes away. Tulane head football coach Jon Sumrall joins us on the program. Cha-ching. Kaboom goes the dynamite. One of the hottest young coaches in the country. He's got the Wave at 1-0. And I don't know about you, that was a damn impressive win. It was funny. I was doing that last channel gimmick and getting a little carpal tunnel going. I was only watching Texas and Ohio State because I don't care about either one of those teams. only because of Arch Manning. I was watching the offense of Texas and flipping over from the Tulane game, but the Tulane game was so compelling, and Arch Manning was struggling in Texas and Ohio State in that game. So I basically watched the entire Tulane game and not much of Tulane and Ohio State. They were airing at the same time. The Tulane game was a much better game. What a great effort by the Green Wave. Boy, they've got a QB. They've got a defense. They've got a depth at a lot of positions, like running back, wide receiver, defensive line. There's a reason Tulane is very good. Because they're good at every spot. They've got depth at every spot. They've recruited and used the transfer portal at every position. And that's why, I think they're a top 25 team. I think by the end of the month, we'll know for sure if they're a top 25 team, one at a time. But you got Mobile this weekend, South Alabama, I should say in Mobile, Alabama, 2 hours down the I-10. Then it's Duke with last year's Tulane starting quarterback, the freshman phenom Mensah. He got $8 million to go play for the Blue Devils, $8 million reportedly. He'll be at Yulman a week from Saturday. And then it's on to Oxford, Mississippi and Ole Miss. Tulane could expected to take care of South Alabama. The good thing is I'm not a player. I'm not the coach. I can look ahead. Duke's going to be a very tough game. And Ole Miss, Tulane will be a prohibitive underdog at Oxford. But I believe Ole Miss plays LSU the following week. I think Dan Reel yesterday on The Real Deal filling us in on that. So Ole Miss might be looking ahead to the LSU game in Oxford and overlook Tulane possibly. I certainly hope so, because Tulane's not going to overlook Ole Miss. I can promise you that. Tulane's not going to overlook South Alabama Saturday. Tulane head football coach Jon Sumrall is going to join us. Love getting the coach on the program. How can you not like this guy? A winner, a positive force, organized, attention to detail, has all the parts of the team, offense, defense, special teams, everything covered. Great assistant coaches, great recruiting, doing a great job running that football team. And then last week with the, don't mess with New Orleans, don't disrespect New Orleans. Just beautiful. I don't know. I'm running Bacchus. I'm like, I want Jon Sumrall as king. He joins us in about 10 minutes, Green Wave fans. And anyone that likes college football, Tulane's a viable program if you haven't been paying attention the last few years. The last few years of Willie Fritz and the Sumrall eras, it's like the Green Wave never missed a beat. It's like you could argue almost better than Willie Fritz. And I'm not knocking Willie Fritz. Love Willie Fritz. He's going to have Houston as a major winner soon enough. Probably this year. But he's like 62, 63 years old. Sumrall's like 20 years younger. His whole future's ahead of him. I love Willie Fritz. I'm not knocking the guy. I'm catching up to Willie Fritz in age. But Sumrall appears to be as good as Fritz, if not better and younger. And you just got to love Jon Sumrall. And then just, like I said, the way he loves uptown New Orleans and the Tulane campus and the oak trees at Audubon Park and all of this, and post it on Twitter. He'll have a shot of a big oak tree at Audubon Park on Twitter and nothing said, no comment, just maybe an emoji, maybe not even that, just a big oak tree at Audubon Park. He appreciates us. He gets us. He's one of us. It's his second stop. He was an assistant at Tulane, as you Green Wave fans know already. But to everybody else, he has a love for New Orleans, and he appreciates the Tulane campus. He appreciates uptown, and it shows. I love it. I love it. He's like the king of New Orleans right now. Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson with you. Wide Open Wednesday. President Donald Trump mentions New Orleans as a possible National Guard troop deployment city. Governor Jeff Landry all over it. Helena Moreno, other New Orleans leaders are opposed. What about you? We'll talk about that right after Jon Sumrall joins us. 766-9480 is the magic number to dial us up. Miss Peach is at the controls. Holy smokes, there goes the neighborhood. 766-9480. 766-9480. Remember that number. It can only be one or the other. It can't be both. Like 4 weeks ago, early August, Governor Jeff Landry declared an emergency at Angola, not enough beds. Now, Landry announced an ICE holding facility, Louisiana lockup. I think right now as we speak, or maybe in a little while, I think Kristi Noem's in town, or I should say at Angola. Jeff Landry's there announcing this. The U.S. military destroys a Venezuelan drug boat with 11 narco terrorists on board. And I'm pretty sure drug trafficking is a crime, but I don't know if it's an act of war, and I don't know exactly what the United States is doing. And I mean, initially you're like, I like it. It's a drug boat. I mean, the president was like, this drug boat's coming to America. This was off the Venezuelan coast. I think the closest point to America is about 2,000 miles away, if I'm not mistaken. So this boat wasn't going 2,000 miles. Now, I'm not saying it didn't have drugs or narco terrorists on it, but normally you apprehend or you get into a gunfight with them and then you can blow up the boat. But just blowing up the boat, I don't know if that is legal, to be honest with you. And I'm not against killing, the drug lords and boats full of drugs. I'm for that, but it has to be done legally and it has to be done right. But maybe this is an act of war by the United States against Venezuela, because I know we don't recognize Maduro as president. I don't think most Venezuelans do, but have no choice. No, I think liberals, especially the woke, they like overthinking things. If they're one or two steps, they do 10. And I think the hardcore right, they don't want to think about too much. Like, wow, blew up the drug boat, thumbs up. Don't want to hear about the Constitution or the law or what America's all about. No, it ain't easy. Freedom's not easy. Doing things the right way, being America, the United States, it's not easy. But we have a high standard. We're still that shining light on the hill that everyone in the world looks up to. So no, I'm not anti-killing narco-terrorist drug dealers, but you got to do it legally and do it right. And I don't know if this was right or wrong. I don't know where this is going. Hey, Tulane fans, I love shifting gears from that heavy stuff like that to a little Tulane football talk. I'm not a sports talk guy. I used to be. That was my bread and butter when I got into talk radio. But for about the last 20 years, I've been doing just, political, local New Orleans, regional, national, international stuff. And on Monday, I get Brett Martell on, Martell Monday. On Fridays, I love getting Fletcher Mackel on Fridays with Fletch. I still have a passion for sports. There's a lot of sports talk out there. I don't want to do that anymore, but I still love sports, and I love Tulane. I love winners. I love Jon Sumrall. This guy's just, when people are great at what they do, how can you not like them? When they're great at what they do, how can't you like them? When they're winners, how can't you like them? Everybody loves a winner. And this guy's doing it at Tulane, which isn't easy. Continuing what Willie Fritz started. Pretty amazing. And that praise of New Orleans, the love of New Orleans. I mean, as a native, how can't you love Jon Sumrall? He joins us next, Green Wave fans. Hey, You North Shore folks love Trey Yen. I get it. So do we South Shore folks. I love heading over across the causeway. It's easy. 25 quick minutes and you're there. Trey Yen in Mandeville. So damn good. You know, one of the best seafood restaurants in Metro New Orleans is Trey Yen in Mandeville. Oysters, soft shell crabs, flounder, speckled trout, shrimp. So damn good. Tonight for dinner, make it Trey Yen in Mandeville.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Total Maintenance keeps you cool. TM-JC.com, your cool spot. TM-JC.com, your cool spot.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
For over 20 years, serving healthy, fresh, authentic Middle Eastern cuisine, Lebanon's Cafe. In the Carrollton section of Uptown on the streetcar line, Wednesday through Monday, 11 a.m. to 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Tulane head football coach Jon Sumrall joining us in about 30 seconds. Green Wave picking up a nice win against Northwestern at Yulman. Now they head 2 hours east down the I-10 to Mobile, Alabama, and a game against South Alabama. Tulane head football coach Jon Sumrall joins us on the program again. How you doing, Coach?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
Doing very well, man. I think Bacchus is calling you soon to be king after those comments last week, man. Everybody in New Orleans loves you, man. And after those comments, they really love you.
Well, hey, I love Mardi Gras, so I don't necessarily have to be the king. I'm fine being neutral ground side, wherever. But we love New Orleans too, man. And my comments, really just love the place and love the culture, the character of this town, and what it's been through, and the people. And it just felt like, the way things were handled. I thought we wanted to show respect to maybe that 2005 team and the city of everybody that went through all the events of Katrina. And our wishes or our grant was denied, and so I just thought, hey, look, I'm going to stand up for this place and what it's been through and the people here. And so, and that team, those kids on that 2005 team, I've talked to a lot of them. They're grown men. Some of them are close to my age, and so hearing their stories of what that was like really affected me. And I thought, man, we're gonna stand up for this place anytime we get a chance to.
Yep. Don't mess with New Orleans. Don't disrespect New Orleans. No, it just that those comments, Coach, they're going to be. You'll be talking about those. Someone will be asking you about those from New Orleans a decade from now, 20 years from now. They'll never be forgotten. I can promise you that. No, your love for the city and Tulane shows. I mean, every time I get you on, I mention just like a photo of an oak tree you post on Twitter, some 300-year-old oak from Audubon Park. Man, I bring this up all the time, and you don't even have any comment. Just it's like kind of what this is, New Orleans, and you seem to love it. You run in the park, you love the campus. It shows, Coach.
Yeah, no. Right now, my runs in the park are at like 5:30 a.m., so it's too dark to take many pictures of them. But I love, man, running on St. Charles and on a streetcar line or whatever, just being around town. And this place has got so many cool things about it, and it's such a fun place to get to experience life. And the people here, man, make it special. The people of this community have been unbelievable to me and my family. And my two oldest kids were born here. Like, people forget, like, I grew up in Alabama, but I've lived more of my adult life in this town than I have any probably at this point. When I was an assistant coach here, now being back, and then my oldest two kids, this is where they were born. They were born in Oshner, and so it's home to us in so many ways.
Oh yeah, you might not be a native, but you are an official New Orleanian, especially after those comments. Great win over Northwestern, Coach. You got to be happy about that. And your quarterback, he can throw, he can run. I mean, that guy has some wheels, coupled with the fact that he's been in New Orleans and your program for what, about 6 weeks? It's amazing.
Yeah, not very long. Yeah, on game day, it was the 38th day in the city.
Crazy.
Yeah, he did a great job. I mean, I thought he played really well. The 69-yard touchdown run's probably the one that everybody will remember. I do think we could have played better in the pass game. I thought we had a few drops, and I thought at times some of that was maybe us throwing the ball a little bit with too much juice on it, or maybe not being quite as accurate. But all things considered, Jake did a good job and gave us an opportunity to win. We're going to have to continue to play better, though, on offense, throwing and catching the football if we want to win some of these games we got coming up.
Yeah, it's interesting. You answered a couple of my questions already. It's only one regular season game, but is there anything you noticed that surprised you in a positive way, something unexpected, maybe a player position emerging, and the opposite, anything that concerns you? And I would guess the wheels on that QB, the 69-yard run, he's running away from everybody. I'm like, that guy is not only fast, he's really quick. And then you just mentioned about receivers dropping a few balls.
Yeah, Jake is really athletic, and then Brendan Sullivan, the other quarterback that was competing for the job that got dinged up in training camp. Brendan was really at the top of that competition for a little while, and I think you're going to see Brendan play some here this week. But both our top two quarterbacks can really run, and then that's a huge bonus. Like I said, I thought accuracy, maybe throwing the football and touch at times, is something we got to improve upon. Making some catches that may not always be the easiest ones, we got to improve upon. And then, the thing I was probably most pleasantly surprised with was, we had no pre-snap offensive procedural penalties or false starts or illegal formations. And in week one of college football, that is so rare. I mean, you see a lot of just not very clean play and self-inflicted things that have nothing to do with the other team beating you. It's you're beating yourself. And we didn't have any of those on offense, which that was probably the thing I was most proud of. It looked like a prepared team for the most part. We got to keep that going. We can't we can't do things that maybe cause us problems on our own. The other team's going to give you plenty of problems on, with what they're doing. So we talk a lot around here about the wave don't beat the wave. So just making sure we're playing the game in a really clean, prepared manner, and that was something I really appreciated. And then obviously the turnovers. I thought, we had 4 picks, 4 interceptions, 3 of them were amazing catches. That's what a lot of people focused on, but I really think our defensive line, man, they really, I felt like, controlled the flow of the game and won at the line of scrimmage, which made the guys in the back end, made their jobs a lot easier.
Speaking of, how rare is it for any school? I mean, I think of like Georgia when I'm asking you this question. How rare is it for a school like Tulane to be able to rotate? What do you have, like 9 or 10 guys rotating on that D line on Saturday?
Yeah, 10 guys played in the game Saturday. Yeah,
Damn.
Really cool to see that many guys roll through. And what's neat about it is we're not just rolling guys in and it's like, oh, that's a third string guy, but whatever. It's like the 9th or 10th guy that goes in the game could be a starter here.
Yep.
It's a group that's very deep, it's very talented, has a real opportunity to make a tremendous impact on the game, no matter who's in. And that's a physical part of the game at the line of scrimmage. And so having that depth is so vital because guys are going to get, bumps and bruises along the way. And so having that many guys that can roll in and play in the games is a big time positive.
No, it's huge. I didn't notice any drop off. We're visiting with Tulane head football coach Jon Sumrall. Speaking about depth, coach, the running backs, will you continue to split the carries until maybe conference play starts and settle in on one primary guy?
Yeah, I think it'll probably be similar to what you saw on Saturday. Maurice had 14 carries, and then the other 3 guys had 5 apiece. I think we'll probably be close to that. That doesn't mean it'll always be split exactly like that, but I like the depth of that room. I think them being fresh and being available to play at full speed and not wear down is a huge benefit to them. I think it'll serve them well as the year goes. I think sometimes, if you overload one back, like Makai last year carried the ball for us a ton. And sometimes those guys, man, they may wear down a little bit as the year goes. And so hopefully we can keep them fresh and roll them. And you get into certain games that maybe one guy is playing better than the other and he gets kind of the hot hand, if you will, and you let that guy roll. But I do think you'll see several guys in that rotation as we continue to move forward.
Coach, you got South Alabama in Mobile, about 2 hours down I-10 to the east. Fans are already talking about Duke. How do you not do that? And how do you keep the team focused on South Alabama exclusively?
Well, yeah, the last time Tulane beat a quote-unquote Power 4 team in the regular season, it was 2022, and it was against Kansas State. Okay? The very next week, Tulane lost to Southern Miss. All right, so that's like I've reminded our guys that really loudly and really clearly. I was an assistant coach at Troy. I was the assistant head coach at Troy University in 2017, and we came down that year and beat LSU and LSU. And the very next week, we got our butts kicked by South Alabama. And so, what you did last week's got nothing to do with this game. Absolutely nothing. If you think you're going to roll out the helmet and we're just going to win because we beat a Big Ten team last week, we're going to get exposed. And so I don't, I try to do everything I can to help our guys understand you get what you earn. And if we think as a team we're good enough to just go out and it's going to go good and we're worried about something going on next week, man, we're going to be really, really disappointed in the results Saturday. And so it's about, preparing each day. You don't win the game just on Saturday either. Like I talk to our guys all the time about, when you win on Saturday, it's because you did the right thing on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then you earned the opportunity to play well Saturday, and then you went out and played well. And that's how you win. You don't win the game by just showing up. And so they have my full attention. I think they have our guys' full attention. It's not going to be an easy game. These guys are good. They got good players. Their running back's a real big-time player. I mean, they got a lot of guys all over the place. So we need to give them everything we got, or we're going to be disappointed in the result.
One game at a time. With all that said, how good can this team be as the season progresses?
Yeah, I still don't really know. You know, it's there's too many unknowns right now for me to be able to give you an honest answer. I think we have enough ability and enough talent to achieve a lot of things, but it's only going to really go as far as our preparation and our toughness will take us. And we've got to be really mentally tough. We got to be resilient. We got to be prepared each week and detailed in what we're doing and do the things it takes to win the games. You know, when you play good football, you protect the football and you get turnovers like we did last week. When you run the football better than your opponent, and when you win the explosive play battle, you usually win games. And so we got to focus on how do we get those things accomplished. And then you look up at the end of the year and hopefully you have the kind of year you want.
Yep, no doubt. Hey, Coach, when you're recruiting a player to Tulane and you're sitting with that player and the parents ask you, are you going to be at Tulane next season, Coach? What do you tell them?
Yeah, well, I tell them, look, I at the end of the last season, when I came here, I was on a 6-year contract. All right. So my contract went down to 5 years. And when there were suitors last year that called, you know, my biggest ask for things being done here weren't for me. You know, I asked for maybe the assistant coaches to get raises. I asked for our players to be able to have a little bit more money in rev share and how they're taken care of. And I said, hey, I'll take another year on my contract. And so I just wanted time. I want to be here. And so, you know, I tell them, look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm going to die coaching at Tulane. I don't know that. But I do know I ain't running away from here. And if the number one goal for me to leave here was to just go take a Power 4 head coaching job, I've already turned some of those jobs down. All right. Like I had opportunities to be at a Power 4 school already if that was the number one goal. And so, you know, I'm not real worried about any of that. That's not something that really goes on my radar. The other thing that people don't consider is, you know, I got 4 young kids, and they're all in schools here and they love their schools, they love their friends, and they love where we live. And I don't just take a job at this point in life. Nobody offers me a job and go, hey, we're just going to pay you more, and go, oh yeah, I'll do that. Like I make more money doing what I do right now than I ever thought I'd make my entire life. So I'm not really even focused on all that stuff. And, you know, when people want to float your name or circulate your name that you could be the coach here or the coach there or the coach wherever, that's just saying everybody in our program is doing a good job. And that's the players, that's the equipment staff, that's the trainers, that's the assistant coaches. The head coach gets a lot of credit when things are going good and a lot of blame when they're going bad. And everybody thinks you're going to leave just because you want to go to the next best thing. Well, the next best thing ain't always better. And so, you know, I'm very happy here. I came here with a vision in mind of being here for a long time. You know, there are a lot of things I want us to continue to push for here as a program, and I want to keep going and building this thing. And there's a lot of stuff that we have to continue to push the envelope on to elevate how we're doing what we're doing. You know, the team we just beat on Saturday, their rev share numbers are significantly greater than what we're doing for football here. And so we need to continue to grow how we're supporting football so we have the opportunity to compete at the highest level. And so that's what my focus is on. But man, I can promise you, I have 0% interest in worrying about doing anything other than what I'm doing right here at Tulane.
Love hearing it, Coach. Hey, last question. Were you shocked all the traction, especially on social media, that the Tulane LSU comment you talked about, you know, renewing the rivalry potentially? Were you shocked all the traction that got, or not really? You're just like, boy, you know, South Louisiana fans are passionate about football in Tulane and LSU.
I'll be honest. I don't really know what kind of attention it did or didn't get. I probably don't do a good job. Like I'm active on social media, on Twitter. That's really it. But I don't really read what people say about me. like so you can say whatever you want. I'm not even gonna know what's said. But I do think the people of this state would love to see it. It makes a ton of sense. it's not in the works right now as far as I know, but I don't know, I don't know why we all in the state don't try to play as many of each other as we can. And that includes Louisiana Lafayette, Louisiana Monroe, La Tech, Nichols, Southeastern, Northwest, Grambling, Southern, McNeese, whoever. I mean, just play each other in the state as much as you can if you can. And I think those type of games are good for the state of Louisiana. And like I said, we'll play LSU or whoever. I mean, I think it's a great opportunity if that would be something that could get worked out. But we got enough things going on right now. I'm not worried about that now that we're in season. But that's definitely, I think, something that's a great off-season conversation for our administration to have with theirs.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Coach. Just off the cuff, would it be like a home and home, or would it be more games at Tiger Stadium? And how would you look at that as a coach?
Well, we'll play anybody, anywhere, anytime. I mean, if we got to play somebody wherever, we'll play them. You know what I mean? I'd be fine personally if it was, hey, we'll go to Baton Rouge, and then if they don't want to play in our stadium, we'll come play them in the Superdome and call it our home game. And that's a pretty good venue and a pretty good draw. I mean, Superdome's a pretty cool setting for a game, and I think if LSU and Tulane were to play there, I think it'd probably have a pretty good crowd.
Yeah, I think so too. Coach, any final thoughts to Green Wave fans?
No, man, show up to Mobile, man. It'd be awesome to see a lot of our people travel. I think our players would love it. Grateful for the turnout that we had on a holiday weekend last weekend. I thought our student section was awesome, and we need everybody to come support our guys and watch this team play. Yeah, they can take a car ride. It's 2 hours. They can take the train to Mobile now. Take the train now. Yeah, you can take the train now if you want to. But anyways, yeah, come see our guys play. Yep, it'd be nice to see a good Tulane crowd. I think you're going to have one there, Coach, with all the New Orleans that live on the Gulf Coast. Always a pleasure, Jon. Thank you so much. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Roll Wave. Roll Wave. That's Jon Sumrall, Tulane head football coach, joining us on the program again. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. 766-9480 is the phone number. Miss Peach is fielding your phone calls on this wide open Wednesday. No, that guy's just a positive force. I mean, there's just no two ways about it. Got to love Jon Sumrall. And you got to love what the Wave's doing. They're up to 30th and 33rd in the two polls. So, I'm not the coach. I'm not, a player. So I can look a little bit ahead, just cautiously. You take care of South Alabama, and I love how the coach is focused on South Alabama. He's at Troy as head coach. He's bringing up Tulane beating K-State a few years ago and then losing the next week at Southern Miss. Then he talks about Troy beating LSU and the next week losing to South Alabama. So, I mean, he's got a lot of, ammunition in his message to tell these players with fact-based stuff that he's lived or, directly or indirectly. So I don't see how Tulane's going to overlook South Alabama. But you beat South Alabama, you take care of business and win on the road this Saturday night, you're going to be in the high 20s probably in both polls. 26, 27 in one, 28, 29, 30 in the other. You take care of Duke at home. Duke at Yeoman the following week, a week from this Saturday. And Tulane, I think, slips in the top 25 in both polls. And then, dare I say it, you go to Oxford, Mississippi, the end of September, and maybe Ole Miss is looking to the next week in Oxford where they take on LSU, and Tulane will be focused when they go to Ole Miss. You know that. They beat the Rebels. They upset the Rebels. Tulane will be a top 20 team. They'll be 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th in the land. And then it's just, all right, you control your own destiny to going to the playoffs. I think if you split with Duke and Ole Miss and run the table, Tulane's in the playoffs. They could even afford a split with Duke and Ole Miss. But Tulane plays their best ball. I think they can beat Duke, and I think Tulane plays their best ball. They can give Ole Miss a run for their money up in Oxford. And if Ole Miss is overlooking the Wave will win that game.
No, you got to love Tulane head football coach Jon Sumrall, just as coach. And then the comments last week about the city of New Orleans, just it put it over the top for like the non-Tulane Green Wave fan, you know? Again, I talk about Tulane and maybe a lack of promoting the football program. I didn't see a lot of season ticket promotion on radio or television or on social media. A lot of folks claim, no, the social media had a lot of it. Here's another opportunity. You know, a lot of folks that don't know anything about Tulane or Jon Sumrall in Metro New Orleans, all of a sudden they know about Tulane football, and they know who Jon Sumrall is, the head coach of the program. And they like this guy because he just praised the city and he loves the city. And I've been saying lately, like, Tulane, I'm the athletic department. You've got the base covered. The hardcore Greeny fan in New Orleans, the few thousand of them, they're buying season tickets. They're all in. Especially when the team's winning. Are you kidding? A lot of them, a percentage of them were in when they were losing. What Tulane needs to do, in my opinion, marketing-wise, there's about 2 million people in Metro New Orleans, Hammond, Houma, Thibodaux, Southern Mississippi, like Bay St. Louis, Waveland, Pass Christian, about 2 million folks. If I'm Tulane, I would be marketing to the mom and dad with 2 kids that have no connection at all to Tulane, zero. But they either can't afford major league tickets like season tickets to the Saints, thousands of dollars for a family of 4, thousands. Season tickets to the Pelicans, thousands of dollars for a family of 4. But they could go to the 6 or 7 Tulane home games at Yeoman, family of 4 for a few $100. I think Tulane could easily get 7, 8, 10,000 season ticket holders that have absolutely no connection to the Green Wave, and then all of a sudden are buying the garb, the shakers. They're coming in the, the blue and the green, and they're representing Tulane. They become Tulane fans. They're embracing it because it's affordable, it's entertainment, it's college football, it's an outdoor stadium, the pageantry, all the color, the sounds, the smells. I mean, it's real. It ain't high school. Go to Yeoman. It's not a high school game. And I think they could easily get mom, dad, little Sally and Jimmy, the family of 4, selling season ticket packs by the thousands, a few thousand of them to those folks. And all of a sudden you've got, 20,000 plus at every home game, no matter what. And then when it's like a Duke or someone big, you've got 30,000 at the game. But I think Tulane's, missing the boat a little bit in the athletic department by not properly marketing to those folks I'm talking about that have no connection to the Wave. And I think the city of New Orleans is missing the boat a little bit. I think the city of New Orleans is missing the boat. New Orleanians that, I can't afford Pels tickets. I can't afford Saints tickets. I'm looking for some entertainment venue, avenue. Tulane football's it. 766-9480. 766-9480. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday. Got a lot to discuss today. You can holler in about Jon Sumrall and the Green Wave. 766-9480. I liked his, attitude as a coach. I'll play any team, anywhere, anytime. So, I mean, that some coaches might be like, no, I'm not going to go to Tiger Stadium 3 times and LSU comes to New Orleans once. He's like, he didn't say he would do that, but he said, I'll play any team, anywhere, anytime. And then he talked about the Dome. Now, I was talking to a buddy of mine, and I thought this was, kind of a crazy idea at one side of it. And then the other side, I was like, it's a brilliant idea. Could you imagine Tulane and LSU playing at Yeoman? And LSU, they make $10 million for a home game. They're going to pay LSU, or they're going to pay Tulane like $2 million or so to come to Baton Rouge. They come to the Dome. The split would have to go more towards LSU because they're sacrificing the $10 million they make at a home game at Tiger Stadium. 30,000 seat Yeoman, you basically double or triple the price of the tickets. And I think, within the, 30-yard line on the sideline down low, I mean, you could get thousands and thousands of dollars for a single ticket. For LSU and Tulane playing at 30,000-seat Yeoman, it would be unique. It would be special. It would be crazy. I know. I said one side of it's crazy. It'll never happen. But then the other side is like jack up the ticket prices so each team makes the money they want to make, and you'd get 30,000 fans there. There are enough LSU and Tulane fans that would spend thousands of dollars to watch that game in uptown New Orleans at 30,000-seat Yeoman. I know, a crazy, wild idea. When my buddy said it, I was like, no shot. I was talking to him about 3 at Tiger Stadium, 1 in the Dome, the money split, all that. And then I'm like, just jack the hell out of the ticket prices. That would be the most incredible environment for a Tulane LSU game. Are you kidding me? It would be wild. 766-9480. President Donald Trump mentions New Orleans as a possible National Guard deployment city. Governor Jeff Landry, all for it. He's in. Helena Moreno, other New Orleans leaders are opposed. What about you? 766-9480. You want the National Guard in New Orleans? 766-9480. U.S. military destroys a Venezuelan drug boat with 11 narco terrorists on board. I'm pretty sure drug trafficking is a crime, but it's not an act of war. What do you think about the U.S. blowing up this drug boat? I'm all for it on the surface, but then I think about the United States and our laws and our Constitution, and this is like an act of war against Venezuela, and maybe that's what Trump wants to do. I can tell you, Maduro, no one likes him in the United States. No one likes him in Venezuela, except, I guess China, Russia, they like the guy. But he's not recognized by most of the international community as the legitimate leader of Venezuela, did not legitimately win that election. The opposite, lost that election. 766-9480. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson with you. On a wide open Wednesday, Audubon Gutters has been with me since last year. When it rains at my house, I don't sweat it. With the big oak tree in front of my house, I don't worry about leaves going in the gutter because I got the leaf guard system. You need gutters for your home or business? It's easy. New Orleans' own AudubonGutters.com.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters, and you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you on a wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Thanks so much for joining us. A week from today, Mayor LaToya Cantrell arraignment. 1 week from today. For me, it's pretty simple. I mean, it's a federal indictment. Normally, and I know I obsess on this a little bit, but it just seems so vitally important as a native New Orleanian, and this is the mayor. I nicknamed her Junket Cantrell for years because of the junkets she takes. Junket, by definition, a taxpayer-financed vacation. Nothing for the city, nothing that benefits the taxpayers. There's no jobs. There's no money coming in. Very strange. But it was just repetitive over and over again. I mean, dozens and dozens of national and international trips, beyond obnoxious. Literally has to be told to pay back money. It's not right. The council trying to restrict it, all of this. And she knows it's not right. But this mayor's petty and she keeps doing it, coupled with she's belligerent. The federal indictment referenced her boyfriend, Vappy, the cop, the former cop. It mentioned specifically 14 of these multiple trips that Vappy was on, 14 unnecessarily on. And of the 14 trips, it cost New Orleans taxpayers over $70,000. That's real money. That's not made up. That's a cop's salary for the year. Another cop on the street, instead of this cop going on 14 trips with his girlfriend. So that's mentioned as part of the indictment. She's Junket Cantrell. 14 trips mentioned in the indictment, and there are dozens more. But let's focus on the 14. Let's focus on the $70,000 plus that the feds are mentioning in this indictment, unnecessarily spent to bring her boyfriend on these trips. When you have a federal indictment, it's pretty much 90% of the time travel is restricted to that federal district where you were indicted. This would be the Eastern District of Louisiana. Can't travel outside of the Eastern District of Louisiana. I don't know what that consists of. Maybe 10, 12, 15 parishes. She would be restricted to the Eastern District of Louisiana. That's a given about 90% of the time. In this case, there's no exception. You know, I read a line or two, some legal expert saying, you know, this is a mayor of a city in the United States. Travel is part of being a mayor of a major city in the United States. I think the court, a week from today, should restrict her travel to the Eastern District of Louisiana. If she complains about it, the court simply says, if you feel there's somewhere you need to go as mayor of New Orleans to represent the city, and it is of a great benefit to the city, and it would be a bad thing if you did not go, apply for that specific trip travel that that you want to do, put in a request to the court and the reasons why it's important for you to go to Paris or, the Middle East or New York. And then the court will decide if they feel that is legitimate or not. And that's that. Problem solved. But that's one thing I'm going to really be focused on is hopefully the mayor is grounded a week from today. Now, there's only a week left until the arraignment next Wednesday when, the mayor got indicted and then the arraignment date about a week or so later was announced. I think it was 3 weeks out, 22 days maybe. It's announced, I think, on a Tuesday, 2.5 weeks ago, basically. I threw out the question. If my arm was on a chopping block and they're going to take an axe and cut my arm off, if I'm wrong on this prediction, will the mayor travel before her arraignment, go on yet another junket before her arraignment? And I said, yes, she would go on another junket before her arraignment. She's got 7 days to do it. Maybe she's heading somewhere this weekend, some mayoral, conference in Chicago or wherever. Some climate change conference in Dubai. I don't know. The time's shrinking. There's only a week left. But, this is the brazen, belligerent, middle finger to the citizens of New Orleans mayor. So don't count her out yet. Still 7 days to go. She might take a junket somewhere. Es loco. 766-9480 is the phone number. 766-9480. You've been hearing me talk about Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville for months. Now, as a client of the program for about the last month or so. But I was talking about them before they ever signed up because it's just that good. They're restaurants. I put out a list on Twitter last week of like really great priced restaurants where you can go get a meal ridiculously inexpensively. Most of them weren't clients. I had like Shortstop small roast beef po' boy. Miss Peaches, you know how much a Shortstop small roast beef po' boy is? $6.42. I told the owner, I'm like, it should be $9.42. Miss Peaches, hello? Exactly. Come on, everywhere else is in the teens. $6.42. I was like, $16.42? I would have paid $16.42. But it's $6.42 for a small roast beef, about, 7-8 inches, cut right down the middle, to like little 3-4 inch. More than enough. $6.42. You can't $6.42 anywhere, No, it's crazy. I know. No, and I listed a few others. Venezia on Monday. You can get a little 6-ounce filet sizzling in butter with French fries, $20.95. $20.95. This little steak comes sizzling in butter. It's dynamite. $20.95. I go to that. I'm not a big, chain place, but that A Tavolo, the Italian joint by Lakeside, the ziti bolognese at lunch, $17. Yeah, $20 at Raising Cane's for me. We're a Caniac, $20. Roost Chris burger and fries, $18 at Roost Chris. Lunch downtown, I think dinner in Metairie, $17. No, exactly. Anywhere else, these are ridiculously inexpensive items. So, I did mention steak night at Katie's tonight. $35, 4 courses, and a glass of wine or a cocktail, $35. It's a joke. Salad, appetizer, a filet, and dessert. That's every week? Every Wednesday night at Katie's. Wow. Yep. No, pretty amazing. So, some are clients, some aren't. There's Blue Boy barking saying, get to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville already. One of the best restaurants in the metro area. You South Shore folks, it's an easy drive across the lake with friends or family. Before you know it, you're there. 25 minutes from Lakeside Shopping Center. Dinner tonight, lunch tomorrow. Make it Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. You'll be glad you did. That's Blue Boy saying 5 o'clock powwow. And now,
Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
For over 20 years, serving healthy, fresh, authentic Middle Eastern cuisine, Lebanon's Cafe. In the Carrollton section of Uptown on the streetcar line, Wednesday through Monday, 11 a.m. to 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Yeah, you right. 5 o'clock power hour on a wide open Wednesday. Thanks so much for joining us. Got a good one lined up. But first, Drew Brees. He's right. It is indeed New Orleans, Louisiana. Let's get this 5 o'clock power hour rolling. 766-9480 is the phone number. 766-9480. What's that, Miss Peaches? You've got some $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away to just about any caller that has a decent comment. Wow. I like that. You heard it. 50 big bucks to the Woodhouse. We had Jon Sumrall on, Tulane head football coach, for a good 15, 20 minutes in the last hour. Always good having this guy on, a winner. Got Tulane playing some good football. They took care of Northwestern, a Power 4, conference team, a Big Ten team, at Yulman last week. They're heading to South Alabama, 2 hours down I-10 to Mobile. That'd be a great trip. I mean, you could stay in Fairhope or, the eastern shore of Mobile, Fairhope, Daphne. It's beautiful down there. Stay downtown. Got a few new hotels in downtown Mobile. Mobile might be the most New Orleans-like city anywhere in the United States. I mean, I don't know of another one. There's nothing in Louisiana that's like New Orleans. I mean, at least when you go downtown Mobile, it's got some French Quarterish, Spanish, wrought iron, that kind of stuff. It looks a little New Orleans-ish. I mean, there's no city like New Orleans. But Mobile's got a little bit of culture. They're growing. I kind of like Mobile. When they get that new bridge built over the Mobile River and that new Jubilee Parkway, that'll be like the I-10 from New Orleans East to Slidell. When they get that built, it's about $3 billion, and it's going to be done within the next 5 to 7 years. That city is going to explode. That Eastern Shore is already like the North Shore is to New Orleans. That's where the rich, affluent people live in Mobile. And they've got, Austal, the shipbuilder. They've got Boeing's competitor, Airbus, building planes in Mobile, literally building planes. They've got the steel mill north of the city. They built an interstate loop. They're like, man, what do we want to do first? And I guess the bridge over the river and the Jubilee Parkway was too much money. They built an interstate loop, a bridge over the Mobile River that's north, a little north of the city. Now, when they build this new one in the Jubilee Parkway, it's all going to connect. They tore down that little round brown brick arena that had been there forever. Like right as you're approaching the tunnel to the left, you'd see that old Mobile Civic Center, that arena. That's gone. They're building a convention center there instead. So Mobile's taken off. Yeah, you can get to Mobile on the Amtrak train now. You can take the train. You can drive in 2 hours, door to door, New Orleans to Mobile, 2 hours, and you're there. It's easy. It's easy. No, Jon Sumrall would love a big Tulane crowd at the South Alabama game Saturday night at 6. I think he's going to get one. I think there's going to be Tulane fans that are going to come from New Orleans, coupled with the fact there's a lot of Tulane fans that live on the Gulf Coast in southern Mississippi and South Alabama on that eastern shore. So they're going to be going to the game in the green and blue. Olive and blue. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. Yeah, I'll talk a little Tulane with you because we had Jon Sumrall on last hour. I'll tell you this real quick. Take care of business, South Alabama, this week. Duke will be at Yulman, and it's Mensa, the old Tulane quarterback from last year, Jon Sumrall's QB, the freshman. He went to Duke in the offseason, transfer portal, got about $8 million reportedly to go play for Duke. He had 3 touchdowns last week for Duke. He's their starter. He looks really good. Duke and Mensa will be at Tulane a week from Saturday at Yulman Stadium. That game's going to be sold out. That's going to be a madhouse. Tulane will be favored. Then the next Saturday, they travel to Oxford, Mississippi to take on Ole Miss. And Ole Miss hosts LSU in Oxford the very next week. So maybe they overlook Tulane. Tulane somehow can take care of South Alabama, Duke, and Ole Miss. They'll be a top 20 team, much less top 25. They're 30 and 33rd, respectively, in the 2 polls. They beat South Alabama. They move into the high 20s. They beat Duke. They're probably top 25 team. They beat Ole Miss. They're a top 20 team. And then It's college playoffs or bust after that. If Tulane can split Duke and Ole Miss and run the table at 11-1, they're in the college football playoff. Now, I love visiting last hour with Tulane head football coach Jon Sumrall because the guy's a winner and it's contagious. And the love of New Orleans, what he showed last week, just brilliant. 766-9480. 1 week from today, Mayor LaToya, the Destroyer, Cantrell, a.k.a. Junket Cantrell, will be walking up those federal courthouse steps on Poydras Street with her attorney. And maybe at the same time, a few feet away, or maybe 10 or 15 minutes earlier or later, former NOPD officer Vappy, the boyfriend, will be walking up those federal courthouse steps with his attorney. What is it? Castag is the attorney for the mayor, and the former Eastern District, federal prosecutor. Harry Rosenberg is Vappy's attorney, if I'm not mistaken. Those are expensive, high-end, ridiculously competent attorneys. As good as it gets. I mean, if I ever were indicted of some federal crime, I'd want Harry Rosenberg representing me too. Anyway, a week from today, next Wednesday, the mayor and her boyfriend Vappy are getting their arraignment down at federal courthouse on Poydras. I've said it before and I'll make it quick. Travel should be restricted. Most of the time, like 90% of the time, it's kind of a given. Whatever district federally indicts you, your travel is restricted to that district. The Eastern District of Louisiana, I don't know how many parishes it is, 10, 12, 15 parishes. She would be restricted to Metro New Orleans and beyond, basically. Restricted the Eastern District of Louisiana. That's a no-brainer. For Junket Cantrell, ground her already. Ground that blank. Ground her. And if, I read something from a legitimate person, that knew what they were talking about, legal expert. Mayors travel in the United States. It's part of their job. Most of them travel, like Jeff Landry going to Korea, the governor. He landed the Hyundai steel plant. There's something to show for the Korean trip. No one can say Jeff Landry's trip to Korea was a junket because they landed a $5 billion steel plant for Hyundai. It didn't go to Alabama. Came to Louisiana. They'll ship the steel to their plants in Alabama and other car plants like Ford and GM will buy, steel from this Hyundai steel plant in Louisiana. No, that's not a junket. That's delivering results. The mayor goes on junkets. There's not a dollar or a job brought back. So travel should be restricted. And if she has to do something that's beneficial for the city, which there won't be, she would just apply, make a request with the court. They could review it. Sorry, you don't need to go to the mayor's conference in Santa Barbara. You don't need to go to the mayor's conference in Dubai. Sorry. No, ground her. Isn't that nice? Kind of the gravy with the federal indictment. Grounding her when that's such a problem. It really is. It's a problem. 766-9480. No, I said last hour, I said this on the air a few weeks ago when the arraignment came down. I think it was 22 days out. If you had to, if I had to make a bet, if I had to make a decision, will she go on a junket before her arraignment or not? I mean, for the average person, the answer is obviously no. But for belligerent, contrarian LaToya Cantrell, I would think she will travel before the arraignment. That's what I would bet. There you go, Miss Peaches. That's what I would wager. That's what I would bet. Now, some of you are like, Corey, it's been 2 weeks. She's only got a week left. Yeah, it's got a week left. And then in a week, she can go anywhere she wants. She takes like 3-day trips to Europe, 3-day trips to Europe. Just insane. Crazy. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. Let's head to Metri. Albert joins us. What up, Albert? Alberto VO5.
What's the word, Corey?
Kill the bird. What's the reason? It's Blue Jays season.
Oh, geez, the old De La Salle cheer, huh?
Yep. The old De La Salle cheer. How you doing, Al? Are you a Blue Jay, Albert?
No, my Rummel Reader, best public school in Jefferson Parish, as they like to say.
Yeah, I thought that was just a sports program for years. I didn't know they did schooling there. Oh, boy.
It's like they got that high school in Florida.
IMG?
IMG, yeah, that's what it's called, yeah.
The Sports Academy, yeah.
With the tuitions, I don't know, something crazy number that I'm sure some agent's paying for.
Yep.
That's what Rummel's like. Anyway, does the city of New Orleans have a CFO position, like a chief financial officer position?
I don't know if they have a CFO. I know your boy who resigned was CAO. That's a good question, Albert and Metairie. Hey, I don't mean to cut you off. I'm heading to the 16-minute after the hour break. Coming right back, 5 o'clock power.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet. Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
New Orleans talk giant Corey Johnson on the neutral ground.
I'll have the entire city of New Orleans in the palm of my hand.
Every weekday afternoon on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333 from 4 p.m. to 5:30.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on this wide open Wednesday. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. 766-9480. We screwed Albert and Metairie over, didn't we? He didn't get a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate. Jeez. Yeah, today we're giving pretty much any caller that has a decent comment 50 big bucks to the Woodhouse. 766-9480. Albert and Metairie was asking if the city has a CFO, like a chief financial officer. I don't think the city of New Orleans has a CFO. I might be wrong, but I don't think they do. They had a CAO, but Montano resigned. He's going to run the Audubon Institute now. Oh, no, I shouldn't say run it. Second in charge. But coming from the mayor's office and now going to Audubon, he's going to be instrumental in the development of the old Esplanade Wharf and the Governor Nichols Wharf. The buildings, one of them's going to be removed totally. One's going to just be retrofitted. They'll keep the roof and some of the sides, blow out some of the sides, make it like a covered space for concerts and the like. Really cool. And then the best part is it's going to connect, Spanish Plaza, the Moonwalk, into this park that connects into Crescent Park. So you can have about 4 miles plus of linear riverside park in New Orleans. This, Spanish Plaza from basically the foot of Canal Street, the foot of Poydras, by the Four Seasons, by Caesar's Casino, at the river, from the aquarium all the way east to like Poland Avenue, like 4 miles on the river of linear park, one of the greatest linear parks in the country. If you've never been to Crescent Park, you're missing something. I'm telling you, it's totally cool. What's that, Miss Peaches? It's beautiful. No, I rode my bike down there. I went into that tower, put me and my bike in the elevator, went up to the bridge, went across the bridge in my bike, went down the elevator on the other side, and you're in Crescent Park. Or you could take the steps and to go over the tracks with the bridge. It's pretty cool. And then you've got that rusted bridge farther down in the bywater that you walk across that's over the train tracks. Crescent Park is it's badass. Oh, most people haven't. They're scared to go. Oh, it's New Orleans. I mean, you got people that don't come to New Orleans, I know people that are scared to come to New Orleans, don't want to come to New Orleans. I mean, yet they don't leave the metro, Miss Peaches. Like, I don't know about you, but if I was like, I'm done with the New Orleans, I'm not moving to Metairie or the North Shore. I'm done with New Orleans. I'm moving out of state, Exactly. They live in Kenner. Right. They're in the metro New Orleans. I got news for you. I don't get that at all, Miss Peaches, Boy, I hate Atlanta, so I moved to Buckhead. Get out of Atlanta if you don't like it. I hate Dallas. I moved to Plano. You don't hate Dallas. You live in Plano. It's Metro Dallas. You're in the Metroplex. It might be different from living in the city, sure. But I mean, yeah, like Metairie folks, North Shore folks, I left New Orleans. I hate New Orleans. Like, no, you don't. You live in Metro New Orleans. You might think you hate it, but unconsciously, subconsciously, I don't know how to describe it. You still love it because you would have left all of it. Go to another city, another town. Yeah, no, dude, Metairie's great. New Orleans sucks. There's a gazillion Metairies all around the country. No, it just doesn't make sense. So you're scared to come to New Orleans, yet you live in Metro New Orleans. So, hate it, you love it. Otherwise, you would have left. Anyway, no, I'm with you, Miss Peaches. So many people have not been to Crescent Park, would never go to Crescent Park, and never will. But I think it's first class and great. And I think once they connect it all, it's going to be mind-blowing. It's going to be 4 miles of linear park. I mean, on the river. It's tough to beat, I think. 766-9480. 766-9480. I got to come up with better topics, Miss Peaches. Well, this one, I guess, is legit because it's New Orleans. The U.S. military hitting the Venezuelan drug boat. I don't think anyone gives a crap about that. Not enough that's watching or listening to my program. So I think that's a dud. Should just put a big X through that one. U.S. military destroys a Venezuelan drug boat with 11 narco terrorists on board and lots of drugs. Pretty sure drug trafficking is a crime, but it's not an act of war. So I think the U.S. military hitting that drug boat it was international waters off Venezuela. One could argue it's an act of war with Venezuela, which I don't want to go to war with any country, but we don't acknowledge Maduro as the president. And I don't think the international community does either. A dictator who didn't win the election clearly, yet took control. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, Miss Peaches, I don't think anyone gives a crap locally. The EPA continues cleanup of that Smitty's supply explosion and fire in Roseland, Louisiana, up in Tangipahoa Parish, but only in waterways, in like ditches and streams and puddles. They're, scraping off oil that sits on top of the water. That's good. That's a plus. I'm not saying it isn't. Miles and miles of boom, trying to keep that petroleum product out of Lake Pontchartrain, all of this. That's great. But what about the land around Roseland and Tangipahoa? Just let nature take over and let this toxic stew soak into the ground? I mean, if your dog was white, he was black after the fire and the rain. Your car was white, it was black. So, I mean, it's all over crops. It's all over, farm animals, livestock, the land you're on. I mean, hey, they're telling you, wash it off your vehicle, wash it off your house. Just don't ingest it. It's like, wow. And then the people are like, I'm breathing it. What chemicals? And you're not getting answers. No, it's a nightmare over there in Roseland. I mean, if I had the wherewithal, I wouldn't be anywhere near Roseland right now. And I mean, over time, will the toxicity of that toxic stew, that petroleum stew, go down? Of course it will. But you're cleaning the waterways to get it out of the water. It's on the land too. I'm not an expert on how you clean it up. I don't know if you take an inch of soil right now because it's early and it hadn't soaked in, leached into deep into the ground, but I think there needs to be a land cleanup as well. And I don't get that part. Hey, it can only be one or the other. It can't be both. Correct me if I'm wrong. 766-9480. Earlier in August, like in the beginning of August, Governor Jeff Landry said that Angola has a problem, not enough beds. Declared an emergency at Angola. Now Landry announced an ICE holding facility at Angola. Louisiana lockup. All these like names for these Trump things, Louisiana lockup. What's the Everglades thing called before they had to shut it down? Where they're going to, put the prisoners at the airstrip and then fly them out like Everglades Detention Center or something like that. It's not happening now. They spent millions already, and now it's not happening. It's on protected Indian land, and it's in an environmentally sensitive area. But there was like a nickname for that. Everglades Prison or something. The Alligator Alcatraz, exactly. All these like gimmicks. Alligator Alcatraz, so cool. It's for the, folks to thumbs up. Trump, you're the man. Alligator Alcatraz, so cool. Not happening. Waste of money, waste of time. You think DeSantis in Florida wanted it? Of course they did. Not happening. A month ago, Jeff Landry, 4 weeks ago, Angola, we have a shortage. We don't have enough beds. We have to build a new building. Emergency at Angola today. Angola is going to be the Louisiana lockup for federal prisoners. ICE holding facility. I mean, one or the other. Either you need a new building, there aren't enough beds, or, hey, we're bringing, the Louisiana lockup to Angola. Alligator Alcatraz, Louisiana lockup. I mean, geesh, what a bunch of nonsense. So silly. 766-9480. Yeah, President Trump mentions New Orleans as a possible National Guard troop deployment city. Governor Jeff Landry's all for it. Helena Moreno, some other local leaders saying we don't want federal intervention. Crime's down in New Orleans. We don't need the National Guard here. What do you say? 766-9480. 766-9480. I don't want the National Guard in New Orleans. I don't think we need the National Guard in New Orleans. When violent crime was out of control like 2 years ago, there was a discussion about bringing the National Guard to New Orleans, and it never gained any traction. And that's when the what was hitting the fan with violent crime. Now we've got Violent crime, a little under control. The fight always continues. Anyone that thinks you cross a goal line with crime, you're delusional. You got to keep grinding. You have to up it. You need more NOPD. Troop NOLA is not at full capacity. Keep increasing that. No, send the federal money where you're going to send National Guard here. Send it to the NOPD. Send it to Troop NOLA. Have a federal monitor oversee the money so it's not stolen by crooked, New Orleans, Louisiana politicians. But I'm not for the National Guard here. We don't need it in New Orleans. Jeff Landry's like, from Shreveport to New Orleans. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. 766-9480. What about you? You want to see deployment of National Guard troops in New Orleans or no? I mean, if it was crazy and, man, someone like me, I don't trust going into New Orleans, which has never been the case. I just don't go to Marie Laveau's gravesite at 2 a.m. at St. Louis Cemetery on some night, I don't go into the crazy neighborhoods at night. But do I go to Irene's in the Quarter or Bayonne on Dauphine in the Quarter at night? You bet. And do I fear walking down the street in the Quarter going to my car? Not at all. Not at all. So no, I don't want to see National Guard troops all over the French Quarter and the CBD in New Orleans. It's ridiculous. Send the money down. I mean, private security, like you remember all the windows broken by the dome of the arena. You want to do that? You want to have drones and private security overseeing parking lots and stuff? I'm all for that. National Guard troops, no thanks. Federal money being overseen by the Fed so it doesn't get stolen, all for that. Just no National Guard troops in New Orleans. 766-9480. Hey, tired of your dry cleaner? Want to experience the best? It's easy. Since 1940, 85 years of excellence. YoungsDryCleaning.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSAgency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSAgency.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet. Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
The official afternoon talk show of the city of New Orleans. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground.
You can say anything you please about me, but don't say anything bad about Blue Boy.
Down, Blue Boy. Good buddy. Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. I was just talking to Miss Peaches. I posted this on Twitter last week, like inexpensive meals in New Orleans where you can get a good meal that it doesn't cost a lot. And Shortstop's Po' Boys has a small roast beef that's $6.42. I literally called the owner and said, dude, $6.42, what's that? He's like, good or bad? I was like, good for me, bad for you. I charge $9 or $10 for that sandwich. But he keeps it at $6.42 for a small roast beef po' boy. I don't know how he makes money doing that. It's crazy. And then I threw out some other ones that I know of, like a Tavolo. I'm not big on chains, and I don't know how good the rest of the menu is, but there's not many places that have bolognese, meat sauce, not meatballs, but red meat sauce and pasta. A Tavolo has bolognese ziti or ziti bolognese. Ziti's that like little tubes about 3 inches long, and then the meat sauce, and it's pretty good. $17. I'm not a big fan of Ruth's Chris steaks anymore. I get the chicken usually when I go. They have a burger and French fries at Ruth's Chris, and it's a damn good burger. $17, $18, like $18, I think. Let's see what else. Oh, tonight is steak night at Katie's. This is ridiculous. A 4-course meal. You get a salad, an appetizer, a filet, with Katie's potatoes on the side. I should say a 5-course meal, Miss Peaches, because you get the Katie's potatoes with the filet. It's not a la carte. And then you get bread pudding and a glass of wine or a cocktail for $35. A salad, an appetizer, a filet with Katie's potatoes, bread pudding dessert, and a glass of wine or a cocktail for $35. That's just crazy. Crazy. That's just fantastic. That's not anything special. It's just no, that's the Wednesday night steak special. Yep. What else? Domalisi shrimp po' boy, $16 for a small shrimp po' boy. I think that's pretty damn good when it's a really good shrimp po' boy. I would say this. Most places that serve a shrimp po' boy, a shrimp platter, most don't do a very good job. The crust comes off the shrimp. Too much batter, most places fried shrimp, just greasy, heavy. Most places fried shrimp po' boy, greasy and heavy. Domalisi's is really, really high quality. It's $16 for a small. Not bad. What else did I put on there? What else are my low budget items? Oh, that Venezia Monday night steak special. Venezia, the Italian pizza joint on Carrollton by Canal Street. Venezia has a filet that's like, I think 8 ounces in butter. It's $35, which is a pretty good deal. On Monday night, instead of 8 ounces, I think it's 6 ounces. I think it's the same steak. It's 6 ounces, sizzling in butter with French fries or pasta on the side. $20.95. $20.95. That's just tough to beat. It's tough to beat. Katie's thing is ridiculous, though, I think. Tonight, for $35, a glass of wine or a cocktail, a filet with Katie's potatoes, dessert, salad, and an appetizer. It's crazy. $35. They're doing like 100+ steaks on Wednesday night. But Katie's has a lot of room. Upstairs, downstairs, the patio, even though it's outside, they got the misters. It's surrounded by, the big jumbo red bricks. It's kind of cool in there, believe it or not, even in summer. So Katie's tonight's a good gimmick for food. Trey Yun lunch specials are ridiculous. Tuesday through Friday, they're like $10, $11, $12. You get that styrofoam container. It weighs a few pounds. Lots of combination fried rice and I think there are 20 different entrees to choose from. 10, 11, 12 bucks. I mean, like I said, I went to Cane's the other night, got a Caniac combo, got an extra finger because I got them naked, no batter. It's 21 bucks, $20.70 or something like that. Anyway, lots of good, inexpensive gimmicks in Metro New Orleans. You know, other cities, it's hard. I mean, you live in New York, slice of pizza is going to run you 12, 15 bucks, you know? It's crazy. I'll tell you, he's got a damn good pizza. Z's Pizza on Barone by Martin's Wine. So I guess that's in between Louisiana and Napoleon. Z's Pizza on Barone. Z-E-E''S. One of the best pizzas in Metro New Orleans. One of the best pizzas anywhere. New Orleans is a great pizza town. There are a few things that we're great at. I mean, we're great at food, but specific things that you wouldn't think. Like, we're a great pizza town. We're a great prime steakhouse town. And we happen to be the greatest place in the world for fried chicken. And it's not even close. I love when people are like, dude, up in Vicksburg, there's this place. I'm like, yeah, there's a place. One, you know, dude, it's a little country town in Tennessee and Kentucky. Great fried chicken. I bet. I'm sure there is. You want to know it's probably the number 2 place for fried chicken in the world? New York City. New York. And you're like, well, how could that be? There's just so many Southerners that move there and they have fried chicken on the menu and they know what they're doing. And the numbers, you know, in New York, there's probably 100 places that do fried chicken. But New Orleans, I mean, Miss Peaches, there must be 50 places that do fried chicken. Some just specifically fried chicken. And then as a, you know, Mr. Ed's, great fried chicken. Galatoire's, isn't even on the menu. You have to know Galatoire's has some of the best fried chicken. Now, that's hard. It's like when I go to Ruth's Chris, I get the chicken. People are like, dude, you're getting chicken? I'm like, yeah, I think the steaks aren't very good, you know? So I like the chicken. You know, you go to Galatoire's, you're not getting speckled trout or something like you're getting fried chicken. It's like, yeah, some of the best fried chicken in the city. So there's probably 50 places in New Orleans that have really good fried chicken. So no, pizza, prime steaks, and fried chicken, we do as well as anyone. Pizza, like, dude, New York, Chicago. We have probably 30 good pizza joints. I just mentioned Z's, Pizza Delicious in the Bywater. These newbies that have popped up in the last year, your boy Portnoy, the Barstool guy that does the pizza reviews, you know, and he pretty legitimate. He seems to know what he's doing with the pizza reviews for sure. The other day he said something, I could be a great offensive coordinator in the NFL. You know, that's a little bit of a stretch, but he seems to know the pizza. 766-9480. It's funny, Miss Peaches, he does the bend. I'm a two-hand pizza. I don't fold it. He folds and he takes like a couple of bites and then he bites the crust on the end to, like, you know, he calls the bottom the undercarriage.
He actually talked about the fold too.
Oh yeah, the fold has to work right and all that. It's just funny. Some dude threw him out. And it's just like, dude, do you know what you're doing? When he gives you a good grade, your business skyrockets, you know? I go to that stacked coaching gym, and most of the people in my class are female. And by the way, they kick my rear end. Stronger than me, better cardio. I'm worn out, dying. They're like yawning, you know? They just crush it. They know Portnoy and the pizza reviews. I'm like, geez, y'all don't know who I am. I'm local radio and TV, but, you know, a sports dude because of his pizza reviews. I'm like, damn. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. What can you say? What can you say? 766-9480 is how you dial us up. Hey, in the 4 o'clock hour, Tulane Green Wave head football coach Jon Sumrall joined us. I love getting on great guests. I love getting on winners. Sumrall's all that. Great guest, honest, tells it like it is. He's now an official New Orleanian. I mean, you got to listen to the interview, especially if you're a Tulane fan. Two of his kids were born in New Orleans at Oxnard. You know, he says he spent more of his adult life here probably than anywhere else. Just his love of the campus. He gets it. I mean, Tulane's campus is beautiful. From St. Charles all the way to the sports facilities. I mean, across, you know, Willow. It's like you're at Brown or, you know, Princeton. It's like an Ivy League campus. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. The buildings are incredible. The old buildings, the new buildings. They've torn down a bunch of kind of architecturally insignificant buildings like the dorm rooms with the little pipe railings that have no architectural significance. And they've built brand new dorms. The business school is unbelievable. It's gorgeous. The oak trees, the old Newcomb campus. It's beautiful. He gets it. He loves it. He loves Uptown. He loves Audubon Park. Runs in the park. You want to go talk to Jon Sumrall? Go to Audubon Park tomorrow morning around 5:30 while it's still dark. He'll be looping around the track. Says he runs when it's dark. He says when the light's out, he might snap a photo and post it on Twitter. He'll post a photo of like a 300-year oak tree in Audubon Park. I recognize that it's an Audubon Park oak tree. And he has no comment, nothing. No, just kids born here, love New Orleans, how he gets us. It loves it. Jogging on St. Charles Avenue, in the Audubon Park, the campus, Tulane, all of it, loves it. Now, I said, you may not be a native New Orleanian, but we have like official New Orleanians. And some official New Orleanians are more native New Orleanian than some natives. Now, let's talk about the folks, I hate New Orleans. You know, you live in Metairie or the North Shore, you love New Orleans. You just don't want to admit it. Now, there are some official New Orleans, like John Goodman, like Jon Sumrall, folks that aren't born and raised here, but are official New Orleans. I'll give you an example of one that isn't an official New Orleanian at all. Old space alien, Carville. You know, he's lived in Uptown. Now he lives in Bay St. Never did anyone, obviously not a native. He's from Carville, Louisiana, outside of Baton Rouge. But no one ever is like, Carville, man, he's an official New Orleanian. Like, never was like fully accepted. Never, no one considers him an official New Orleanian. Not even like, you know, the loony left that love Carville. No, old space alien, never embraced, never official. John Goodman, official New Orleanian, loves New Orleans. And it shows, it's real. And then someone like Jon Sumrall, who's from Alabama, just how he has embraced New Orleans and Uptown and loves Tulane. That's good enough for me to make an official New Orleanian. But last week, the comments after the Northwestern game, when Northwestern wouldn't allow Tulane to wear their white jerseys as a tribute to the 20-year-ago team after Katrina. No, Sumrall's like, you don't disrespect New Orleans. You don't, you know, mess with New Orleans. I'm like, wow, I love this guy. I already love the guy just because he's a winner and he's got Tulane playing great football and it's contagious. But the way he praised New Orleans and the way he gets us and he embraces Uptown and the Tulane campus and Audubon Park and St. Charles Avenue, I don't know how you can't love this guy. Love him. Official New Orleanian. Coming right back.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. TM-AC.
wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com.
Not an FM disc jockey, not a former politician, Corey Johnson.
You're not the DJ. You're a raconteur. You're a storyteller. You're a griot.
It's true. It is true. I like telling stories. 766-9480. Old Mario Brothers, Miss Peaches, he does like high school football play-by-play. And he's doing like the Central De La Salle game this weekend. And I told him a story and he's going to tell it on the air. I said, it's okay. When I was at De La Salle, we had crazy brother Richard running the school. This guy was a lunatic, he was a brother. But he went to Las Vegas and gambled. And he'd eat dinner at, Commander's Palace all the time and lunch, spending gobs of money. It's just crazy. And he was the principal at De La Salle and he was a lunatic. I think he got ousted from the brothers. Like the brothers threw him out after a while for crazy behavior, Anyway, brother Richard, De La Salle just getting their butt whipped every year by Jesuit. Just how it was. And then one year we beat Jesuit. I think it was like 14-12. We just squeaked by Jesuit. It was like a Friday night at Gormley. And then word spread that Brother Richard said, Monday is a holiday for De La Salle. You do not have to come to school Monday because we beat Jesuit. So literally, we didn't have school on Monday. The next year, we're playing Jesuit. Like the high school, like the cheerleading squad or whatever, the pep team, whatever, they get those rolls of paper about 4 feet tall and they roll out however long they want. And it'll say, Blue Jays to beat Rummel or whatever. And it's like 30 yards long. And it might even have like a Blue Jay or, beating up the Rummel Raider guy or something like that, like a cartoon. And it's a big banner. The next year, De La Salle's playing Jesuit at Pan American. And across the fence for all, the Jesuit side, it said, De La Salle, you will have school on Monday. I was like, damn. I swallowed hard. I was like, ouch, that hurts. That was one of the most creative high school signs of all time. If you know the history. I mean, people are like, what does that mean, De La Salle, you'll have school on Monday? I don't get it. Well, because crazy brother Richard last year when De La Salle upset Jesuit gave us Monday off, which is insane. Insane. De La Salle, you will have school on Monday. And Jesuit won. We did have school on Monday. I don't think we would have got school off for 2 years in a row on Monday, but that was the best damn sign I've ever seen. Hey, Lebanon's Cafe open till 9:30. I love that Lebanon's Cafe opens up 7 days a week, 11 a.m. and they go straight through the day till 9:30. They don't take like lunch and then from 2:30 till 5 they're closed and then they reopen for dinner. Open throughout the day, so you can have a late lunch at 2, 3 o'clock, or an early dinner at 4 or 5 o'clock. Lebanon's Cafe, 7 days a week, 11 a.m. till 9:30. I love the 9:30 part too. A lot of places are shutting down early in Metro New Orleans. You can roll into Lebanon's Cafe at like 9:15 and get lamb chops, all your favorite Middle Eastern sides, 7 days a week, some of the finest Middle Eastern food in Metro New Orleans, Lebanon's Cafe. I know a little bit about that. I'm Syrian, half Syrian. My mom's 100%. Olive skin, black hair. She's got more black hair than gray, and she's 94 years old. And still drives, goes to the Bridge Center in Metairie, all that stuff. No, she's Syrian 100%. Her mom and dad were 100% Syrian. So her mom, my grandmother, Arabic Situ, Arabic for grandmother, made all this stuff. From the raw kibbe to the fried football kibbe to baked kibbe to kibbe on the grill to tabbouleh, baba ganoush, majedra, hummus, just endless. Lamb shish kebab, beef shish kebab, shrimp, just so damn good. And Lebanon's Cafe, I'm telling you, that football kibbe's just like my grandmother used to make, my situ. So pretty good. I love that Middle Eastern food. Some folks might be, scared of Middle Eastern food. They don't know what it is. I just rambled off this list of like hummus, mujedra, and all the. Go check it out. I mean, who doesn't like shish kebab? Beef, chicken, lamb, shrimp, shish kebab, lamb chops. You'll like the sides as well. Lebanon's Cafe is really good. Hey, Tulane fans, in about 3 minutes, if you missed it, you can go to my YouTube channel, The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson, and check out the Jon Sumrall interview on YouTube. About 15 minutes into the program and about 15 or 20 minutes with the head coach. Lots of questions, lots of great answers. Coach Jon Sumrall joined us at 4:20 last hour. So about 15 minutes into that YouTube feed, you can get a good 15, 20 minutes with Jon Sumrall. If you're a Green Wave fan, I'd check it out. He had some interesting stuff to say. I asked him, not, hey, coach, you staying? Are you leaving? None of that. I just said, coach, when you're recruiting a player and you're sitting in the den with that player and his parents, and the parents ask you, are you going to be at Tulane next year? What do you say? And he had a great answer to that. A great answer. Green Wave fans, a must listen to. If you're just a college football fan, I mean, if you haven't been paying attention, Tulane is a very good program, and they have been for the last few years. Like right on the cusp of top 25. I would say for the last 2-3 years, Tulane is a top 30 program in America. They take care of business this weekend at South Alabama. Right now, they're 30th and 33rd ranked in both polls. They take care of South Alabama. They'll be in the high 20s, probably 27, 28 in one poll and maybe 28, 29, 30 in the other. They take care of Duke a week from Saturday at Yeoman. Yeah, that Duke, where they paid $8 million for Tulane's quarterback from last season. Mensah transferred to Duke. He's the starting quarterback, threw 3 touchdowns last week for the Blue Devils. A week from Saturday, they'll be at Yeoman. Tulane beats Duke, and I think they'll be a slight favorite. They'll probably slip into the top 25. The following week, 2 weeks from Saturday, they're in Oxford, Mississippi against nationally ranked top 10 Ole Miss. The following week in Oxford, Ole Miss plays LSU, so maybe they're overlooking Tulane for LSU at that point. Who knows? Tulane won't be overlooking Ole Miss in Oxford, I can promise you that. They beat Ole Miss, they'll be a top 20 team. If they split with Duke and Ole Miss, I still think they fully control their own destiny of going to the 12-team playoff. They split with Duke and Ole Miss. They run the table. They're 11-1, and they're in the playoffs. It's that simple. You want verification on that? We bring in an expert. What's that, Blue Boy? Tulane splits with Duke and Ole Miss and runs the table and goes 11-1. They're in the playoffs. But you think they can beat Duke and Ole Miss. I'm with you, Blue Boy. They can. We'll see what happens. Green Wave fans, check it out. Jon Sumrall, about 20 minutes after 4, 15 minutes into our YouTube feed. I'll see you tomorrow, Thursday. Be there.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.